And they did it, man. The Mad Lads did it. The Mad Lads did it. They made freaking Master Splinter. They did it. You were like, they're not going to do it. These guys are not going to do it, man. They're not going to do it. They freaking did Master Splinter. That's how. Welcome back, everybody, to the show. I am your host, as always, J Villain, aka That Villain J. And tonight, we have a very special treat for you. Oh, yes, we do. We have finally gotten pretty much every card we're going to get out of Kamigawa for spoilers. And that means it's time to look at the final form of Kamigawa. 7 days left, only about a week left until release. And we head back to the land of samurais, ninjas, dragons, and Kami, the spirit folk, in this future techno setting. I'm hyped. Man. And for those of you who say, oh, techno and magic don't go together, well, man, you've never played Cyberpunk? Well, that's no magic in that one. Or you never played Shadowrun? Oh, yeah, there was all kind of fantasy techno mixed up in there, man. I like it. I like the aesthetic. I like the whole vibe, man. So, we're going to do that. Of course, before we get started, boys, I need you to do something for me. Do you know what that is? Tenderly press that like button. Gently press that subscribe button. Or else, well, guys, the like and subscribe will come and brutally devour you. He'll werewolf you up right away. You know, watch out for that. Join us on a stream every night at twitch.tv/ThatVillainJ for all live streaming goodness. More previews. We will be the place for Kamigawa decks. We will be the place for Kamigawa pack openings, so make sure you're there for that. 100 card pack opening coming up. Check out our Discord community for all the latest news and information, and we'd love to have you there to discuss more Kamigawa, to more spoilers, what is coming next, and what you think we should build. So, all that being said, we're gonna drop the screen and get to the spoilers. All right, great artwork coming out of this set too, man. I love the whole purple neon feel, man. There we go. So, we pretty much got all of the spoils out, I believe, except for some commander cards. But those aren't really going to be relevant on Arena and what we're going to be playing on. Mono white. And I noticed something going on. With a lot of the cards. They have really heavy leaning into a mono color. And you're going to notice something else, too, with a lot of these Kamigawa cards, is that there's a lot of vehicles. There's a lot of vehicles and artifacts. And that's going to be a big thing that's going on. Okay? I think they've done a very, Akira-style techno-cycle stuff. And it's going to be really, really cool, man. So, yeah, we don't have every card yet. I'm seeing here full set is released tomorrow. But we're going to do as many releases as we can now, and we'll catch up with more releases later. I'm going to go through some of these quick, and then we'll go over some later. Yoshimaru, Ever Faithful Dog. This is a legendary thing. We have Myojin, The Blooming Dawn. Again, a focus on heavy amounts of a single color. Now, Samurais. Samurais is going to be obviously an important thing. And ninjas here. Here we have two examples, so we have it right away. The Samurai Technique. These were the commanders coming out. These are the commander exclusives. That's what those are. Imperial Recovery Unit's the only one, yeah. But these are the commander cards. You can see the symbol is different. You want to look for the ones that have this little mountain, like a little Mount Fuji with a sun. That's the thing. But here we have an example of the samurais and the ninjas. These are going to be your bread and butter. Obviously going into a Japanese-themed set here. What does a samurai do? It has ninjutsu. Okay, what is ninjutsu? It's the way of the ninja. When you pay this cost, the ninjutsu cost, return an unblocked attacker you control to hand. Put this card on the battlefield from your hand, tapped and attacking. If you've ever played with Zareth the Trickster, the rogue, the Demir rogue, he's basically a ninja. He basically has ninja. That's what he does. So the ninjutsu thing basically they surprise you. So anybody who goes in unblocked, you pay the ninjutsu cost and replace it with this person. So swinging in with an unblocked Blizzard Kitsune is very, very useful. Obviously this applies to rogues a lot. Basically they're sneaking in and getting the damage across anyway. So anything that can get under the wire, that can get unblocked, or any situation where you can get something unblocked, you can surprise people. You never know when a ninja card is going in. I might be attacking with a 1-1 or something like that, or a 2-2, and all of a sudden you don't know if I have a ninja in my card, which I rather like because it imitates what a real ninja is all of a sudden what you thought was somebody else is, surprise, it's a ninja and he's coming right at you. So that is the ninjutsu thing. An unblocked attacker, replace it, play the ninjutsu cost, replace it with this guy, and he's going to get his hit off. Very, very cool. Now, most of them are in blue and black. This is unusual because this is a fox ninja, and he is in white. Now, if we're talking about samurais don't really have a set listed mechanic. What they do is basically the focus on whenever they attack alone. Alright? So whenever they attack alone, there's going to be a lot of things that you can do to focus on them. You can focus fire on them. So if they attack alone, everything gets this. For this side, whenever a samurai or a warrior you control attacks, it gets 1/1 to the end of turn. You'll have a lot of creatures saying when they attack alone, they'll do this. You can have 3 or 4 creatures out, and then when one attacks alone, all the other ones trigger, and he gets a super ability. He's basically buffed up. Now, what I do like about this is that samurais aren't technically warriors. By definition, but a lot of the things that happen apply to both samurai and warriors. Very, very, very interesting. So those are going to be your two mainstay. Mechanics. There's some other ones we'll go over, but we'll see here. So going into it, we have Ao, the Dawn Sky. Now there's going to be a dragon for every color, which means that dragons are probably not going anywhere for the time being. They're going to be staying around. They're absolutely going to be doing what they're going to be doing. Flying Vigilance, when Ao the Dawn Scar dies, choose one, look at the top 7 cards of your library, put any other non permanents with a total amount of 4 or less from among them onto the battlefield, put the rest at the bottom of your library, put 2 1/1 counters on each permanent you control, that's a creature or vehicle. I can see a situation where this is going into cleric decks and immediately spamming out in alchemy, spamming out Inquisitor Cleric. That would be interesting. Here is the Wandering Emperor. One would assume that she is the Wandering Empress, but no. She is the Wandering Emperor. This was the one that they called the Wanderer. She was in the War of the Spark. Everyone thought she was Emrakul. No, she is not. She's apparently the Emperor or Empress of Kamigawa. Invoke Justice, return all Brilliant Restoration, return all artifacts and enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. That is a big 7, and again, like I said, there's a lot of cards that focus very, very heavily. They have a really high devotion cost. Brilliant Restoration and Invoke Justice have a really, really high cost in that monocolored, so it's going to be difficult to run them in those multicolored decks, which I think is the point. If they're very powerful cards, return target permanent from your graveyard to the battlefield, then distribute 4 1/1 counters among vehicles of players you control. That's kind of a big thing, is returning stuff and buffing everything up. So this is going to be hard to run in like an Azorius because you have such a strict mana cost. Of course, we have some equipment. This is somebody's robot horse. That's really cool. There's Kyodai, Soul of Kamigawa. She is the flying and flash, and then you can give her +5 or a multicolor deck. Light Paws. Now this is going to be a focus on enchantments here. We do have also sagas that we're looking at here. Whenever an aura enters the battlefield under your control, if you cast it, you may search your library for an aura card with a mana value less to or equal than a different name than each aura you control. Put that card on the battlefield attached to Light Paws Emperor's Voice. The interesting thing about that one is that we got a lot of good enchantments. We got a lot of interesting enchantments coming up, so I think enchantments are going to be returning. It's been a while since we've really had a lot of focusing enchantments. This is an interesting one. As an additional cost to this spell, you may cast exile any number of white creatures from your hand. This spell costs 2 less to cast. Exile target creature, artifact, enchantment with the Malleus. So removal. Restoration of a ganjo. I'm not very good at Japanese. Search your library for a Plains card, which is fantastic. What was the one? Birth of Meletis. This is kind of the new version of Meletis. You may discard a card when you do. Target permanent with mana to value 2 or less is returned from your battlefield to the graveyard tapped. Exile this saga, then return it transformed. So we have a lot of these that are returning transformed. Vigilance, it's going to be a Fox Monk. It is going to be a when Architect of Restoration attacks or blocks this person, color this, create 1/1 spirit token. So we're leaning into spirits. I like that we're keeping some of the themes here. My audio keeps clipping in and out. That's strange. Is it bad? Hold on 1 second to make sure that this is correct. Alright, sorry about that, guys. We just had to make sure the audio was good. But we're going to be seeing a lot of these enchantments that are going to these sagas that are going to be turning into things. And like I said, we're having a return of spirits, so we are keeping some of the themes that we got in Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow with spirits and stuff like that, warriors and things like that. We're not completely shifting gears, so we are going to get some supportive stuff like that. We are going to get some vehicle support with stuff like Born to Drive. Creates pilots. It's basically a hotshot mechanic in Born to Drive. And then, of course, we're going to have shrines. Shrines. I don't like shrines, but they're not as bad as the old shrines. Legendary enchantments. All shrines are enchantments. This is actually a creature, if you can believe it. At the beginning of it's an enchantment creature. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1. If you do, create a 1/1 color of the spirit token for each shrine you control. Now, this is good for a lot of things. I think that it's a good thing that shrines are creatures because they're easier to kill. It's harder to run a shrines deck if somebody is not running enchantment removal. They're basically doomed, which made everybody have to run enchantment removal. So I like the fact that they're creatures now and we can just kill them outright. Here's another one that transforms on turn 3. Michiko's Reign of Truth. Target creature gets 1/1 to the end of turn. For each artifact and enchantment you control, exile this, return it. And then it comes in as a portrait of Michiko. You get 1/1 for each enchantment you control. Selfless Samurai. I actually really like this one. Whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, it gains lifelink until the end of turn. And much like Selfless Savior, sacrifice Selfless Samurai, another creature you control gains indestructible. I love this. I love this. Selfless Samurai, I predict, is going to be a staple. Fox Samurai coolness here, man. Really good. This is not a great card. It's 1 less for each enchantment. The Fall of Lord Kondo. Exile target creature with value 4 or more. Each player's gain control of all the permanents they own. Basically, if anybody is possessed, they go back. So that's kind of anti-possession tech right there. Exile this saga and return it. What do we get? We get Fragment of Kondo. So he's left. This was the old story of what happened in Kamigawa. Touch of the Spirit Realms. We have more spirit stuff. Ancestral Katana. This is what I'm looking for, man. I'm looking for katanas, man. I'm looking for weapons. Whenever a samurai warrior you control attacks alone, you may pay 1. When you do, attach Ancestral Katana to it. So basically, quick draw katana there. If it attacks alone, you get to get the Aijutsu maneuver there and immediately attach it. It's cheap to attach, so I really like that one. When we were young, look at that. Up to 2 target creatures get +2/+3. If you control an artifact or enchantment, those creatures also gain lifelink. Very powerful instant. Befriending of the Moths. Again, these transform. All of these transform, and these are commons, man. These are commons, so we have a lot of focusing on enchantments. I think it's going to synergize very well with the previous sets, with all the enchantments, with the disturb mechanic, with the enchantment ideas behind Vow. I think they really went seamlessly in one to the other. Here's another one. When a samurai warrior you control attacks alone, tap target creature you don't control. Again, more samurais that when they attack alone are going to be doing really cool stuff here. Spirited Companion. stuff like that. Light the Way, cool stuff like that. Sunblade Samurai, and these are all commons. So we have a few alternate arts. We have a few alternate arts here, but that is kind of the idea. If we're seeing a kind of a look at, if we're seeing a kind of overview of white right now, it's going to be creatures, enchantments, restoration, 1/1 counters, a focus on spirits and stuff like that. That's going to be really, really cool and interesting. And then we can see the basic mechanics of samurais going in. I think there's a few powerful ones here. Frankly, I think that the one I can guarantee you is going to be staple is this one. Selfless Savior was a staple for a reason. A simple sacrifice and indestructibility, and it gives lifelink if samurai or warrior attacks alone. This is a clutch card right here, man. This is the one you gotta have. Selfless Samurai. That's the one, and at uncommon price too. Absolutely, man. That's your new standard there, bro. That's your new standard there. And he's cool as hell, man. He's a fox samurai with red armor. Alright, so let's take a look on the dark side here. Let's take a look at black. We're going to skip blue for right now. Let's take a look at some ninjas. Now remember, if you see these are the commander ones. We don't really need to see these. The Long Reach of Night. Everybody is going to be running everybody's going to be running enchantments in these guys. Everybody's going to be running enchantments. There's so many sagas. It's kind of a return to Kamigawa. There's so many sagas. You could probably run Saga Tribal. It's going to be really interesting. Each opponent sacrifices a creature unless they discard a card. Very, very useful for those discard sacrifice decks. You know, I like to play those. And then, of course, Animus of Night's Reach, this crazy spider lady. Menace, whenever Animus of Night's Reach attacks, it gets +2/+X into the end of turn, where X is the number of creatures in the opponent player's graveyard. Unbelievably deadly, guys. Unbelievably deadly. I'll tell you why. Discard decks, this is a must-have. If you're running discard decks, if you're running mill decks, this is dangerous, especially if you're giving it something that has trample. If I can load your graveyard with absolutely to the brim with stuff, using all sorts of things, load it with creature cards and mill you down, Animus of Night's Reach is going to be dangerous. Absolutely, at an uncommon and not legendary, very dangerous. Here's a vehicle, an evil mech. Look at this thing, a Mukatai Soul Ripper. Whenever Mukatai Soul Ripper attacks you, you may sacrifice another artifact or creature. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on Soul Ripper and it gains menace until the end of turn. It only takes 2 to attack it. Here is a rat ninja, Mukatai Ambusher. As you can see, the Mukatai are a samurai. I mean, a ninja clan. Ninjutsu and lifelink, very, very cool. Sacrifice a creature, of course, Dockside Chef, stuff like that. Gravelighter. Dokuchi Silencer, ninjutsu. Whenever Dokuchi Silencer deals damage to a player, you may discard a creature card. If you do, destroy target creature or planeswalker. So all she has to do is ninjutsu in, or he has to ninjutsu in, and then boom, you discard a creature card and kill them. Gravelighter, again, we're getting more spirits. We're getting black spirits. For a while, spirits have been consigned almost exclusively to red, blue, and white, but we are returning to the black spirits. I remember there used to be them. And we also have some rat ninjas. Look at this one. Equipment Demon. This is a demon that is an equipment. It is the blade of the Oni. How can you even wield that thing without cutting yourself? I don't know. It literally has menace by itself. It's a 3/1. It only costs that to put down. Creature has a base power and toughness of 5. Equipped creature is a 5/5, has menace, and is a black demon in addition to the other colors. Fantastic. Reconfigure. This is a little bit different. Attach to target creature you control or a ton attach it. Reconfigure only as a sorcery. While attached, this creature isn't a creature. So basically it unbecomes a creature and becomes an equipment when you attach it. That's what reconfigure does. Here is the Black Dragon. Junji, the Midnight Sky. 5/5 flying and menace. When Junji, the Midnight Sky dies, choose one. Each opponent discards 2 cards and loses 2 life. Put target non-dragon creature from your graveyard onto the battlefield to lose 2 life. Nashi Moon Sage's Scion. Here is like a little techno rat here. Again, ninjutsu. When she deals combat damage, exile the top card until the end of turn. You may play one of those cards. Again, as stealing one. Biting Palm Ninja enters with menace on it. Whenever Biting Palm Ninja deals combat damage to a player, you remove a menace counter from it. When you do, that player reveals their hand and you choose a card, non-land card, exile it. Very, very cool. And then here are all the neon versions of Hidetsugu, Devouring Chaos. This is a Rakdos Ogre Demon. I'm surprised they didn't call them Oni. That's going to be really cool. Yeah, if it's equipment, to answer your question, if this is considered an equipment, if it says you may equip a creature, I believe it will. I'm going to have to double check that. We might have to wait for some rules things. But if it applies, if it uses the keyword equipment, this is technically equipment. I don't know if you're going to have to pay so this is a Rakdos Demon here. Sacrifice a creature and scry. Exile the top card of your library and play this too. When you do, exile non-land. Card this way deals damage equal to the exile card's mana value to any target. Again, a kind of a self-mill destruction type of thing. Invoke Despair. Here's another one of these, emphasis on a lot of heavy devotion to a color. This is going to be a common theme. You're going to see a really, really heavy devotion cost here. Target opponent sacrifices a creature. If they can't, they lose 2 life and you draw a card. Then repeat the process for an enchantment and a planeswalker. For 5 and a mono black, ooh, I'm going to make you hurt, dude. I'm going to make you hurt. Tetsunari Toad Rider. These are some cool stuffs. More ninjas. Soul Transfer is a cool one. Exile target creature or return target creature from your graveyard to your hand. And then if you control an artifact and an enchantment, again, the focus on artifacts and enchantment, you may do both with Soul Transfer. I really, really like that one. March of Wretched Sorrow. I love these. These used to be a card called Howl from Beyond that was like this. As additional cost to this spell, you may exile any number of black cards. This spell costs 2 less for each exiled card this way. March of Wretched Sorrow deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker, and you gain X life. So you can just kill stuff and then gain the life, man. Really, 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 really cool. Tribute to Horobi. Each opponent creates a 1/1 black rogue token. Exile the saga, then return it. When Echo of Death's Wail enters the field, gain control of all rat tokens. Whenever Echo of Death's Wail attacks, you may sacrifice another creature if you do. So it becomes this weird spirit. They get free rats, but then at the end of it, you gain control of the rats. So that's kind of a weird mechanic there. Assassin's Ink, very cool. This guy's killing people with his colorful tattoos. This spell costs 1 less to cast if you control an artifact and 1 less to cast if you control an enchantment. Guess what? That's 2 black as an instant for destroy target creature or planeswalker in uncommon. 2 black for an instant that kills target creature or planeswalker. All you need to have is an artifact or an enchantment out. Very, very interesting. Leech Gauntlet, Malicious Malfunction. Here's guys losing control of his cyberware. Enormous Energy Blade. I don't like this one. I don't think it's very... I mean, it's on theme, but why is it useful? It says heavy maybe for you. Well, energy blades aren't heavy. They have 0 mass. Anyways, here is the Shrine, the Go Shintai of Hidden Cruelty. 2/2 Death Touch. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1. When you do, destroy target creature with toughness X or less, where X is the number of shrines you control. Life of Toshiro Umezawa. Target creature gets +2/+2 until the end of turn. Target creature gets -2/-2, and you gain 3 life. You get to choose 2 of those. Then you exile it, and it returns as Memory of Toshiro. 2/3, pay 1 life, add this mana, pay black, a little bit of black ramp there. Cool Ogre Ninja. I mean, look at the art on these, man. Come on, man. Look at this guy. This Ogre Ninja, freaking all black armor here with a freaking purple energy blade. Very cool. Look at this. Okiba Salvage. Look at this big Oni robot. Return target creature or vehicle card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Then put 2 1/1 counters on a permanent or control an artifact enchantment you control. Inkrise Infiltrator. Here's some more rats. Blade Blesser. You are already dead. I love this, man. I love this. Such in theme here, bro. The art, I mean, the art on this is so sick, bro. Okiba Reckoner Raider. This is like one of these rat people bite games. I love this. Each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. You know this is my gain and drain stuff, man. I want to be in cosplay of this dude and just take a picture of my back like this, man. Return this saga to the battlefield transformed. What do we get? We get the Nezumi Road Captain. We get his sweet jacket. We get this cool captain here. Rat Rogue Menace. Vehicles you control have menace. So these are the rat biker gangs. I think it might be a reference to what is it? The rat biker gangs from Mars? Isn't that a thing? Yeah. Omewa Moshindiru. Yeah. What's up, Squealer? How you doing? Mesmerize the simple-minded. I'm just sitting. Yeah, you don't get me singing, man. You are already dead. This dude is already dead. He's cut through. Look at this, man. Man. So swift and sharp that his blade. The Ogre never felt the cut. Destroy target creature that was dealt damage this turn. Draw a card. Love it. Yes, Biker Mars from Mars. They literally made biker mice. And they made them like Akira, which is awesome. So really, really, really cool stuff here. This one is not bad. It has Death Touch as long as you control an artifact and as long as you control an enchantment. Again, artifacts and enchantments are a big thing here with black. And look at some of this alternate art, this anime art. Really, really cool. Really, really cool stuff here. Really, really, really cool stuff here, man. Again, and this is not the end of it. We have a lot more stuff than this. So, 3-letter code is NEO. Mardu Samurai. Speaking of Mardu Samurai, before we get into the other colors, let's take a look at multicolor. Do we want to take a look at multicolor? Yes. All right. Let's take a look at some multicolor here. Colossal Sky Turtle. Yeah, that's a little bit of what's that guy that does all those kind of fantasy ones, the really light ones, but he's miserable? Miyazaki. That's a bit Miyazaki-esque right there, Colossal Sky Turtle. Risona Asari Commander is going to be whenever Asari Commander deals combat damage to a player, if it doesn't have an indestructible counter on it, put an indestructible counter on it. Whenever combat damage is dealt to you, remove an indestructible counter from Risona. So she can become indestructible. What I like with maybe the Tyrite Sanctum is maybe making her a god. That might be interesting. So that might be fun. Invigorating Hot Strings. This is a translation, but Gruul got a little bit of stuff. Everybody gets haste, and you can get 1/1 counters to put on everybody. That's going to be cool. Look at this one. Hidetsugu consumes all. Destroy each non-land permanent with a mana value 1 or less. Take that token dex. Exile all graveyards. Ooh, I'm sorry, Lier. I'm sorry, Lier. Did you just get powered down? Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Because if they can't get this off the board, if we get exile on graveyards, oh, that's a rough one. Exile this saga, then return it to the battlefield under your control. 3/3, Trample, Ogre, Shaman. Whenever a Vessel of the All-Consuming deals damage, put a 1/1 counter on it. Whenever a Vessel All-Consuming deals damage to a player, if it has 10 or more damage that way, this player this turn, they lose the game. Yeah, that's right. That's right, guys. If you do 10 or more damage with a Vessel of the All-Consuming, they just lose. Yeah, you saw that. So how do we sneak it by the wire? Don't worry. Are we thinking a Grixis? Hidetsugi consumes all? Maybe. This is going to be an interesting one. Tamiyo, Completed Sage. You'll notice that this isn't a typo right here, guys. This isn't a typo. Being completed is what the Phyrexians do to people. It's what the Phyrexians do to people when they modify living organisms with their strange biomechanical enhancements. She has been completed. It's the ultimate form of Phyrexian being. And you'll notice here, you notice these little strange symbols. If you're new to Magic, what is that? That is Phyrexian mana. This is the only way you could get me interested in Simic, is make a Simic Phyrexian. We might do a Soul Tie with her. That means that she is completed. That means that you can pay, instead of this mana cost, you can pay 2 life. If life was paid, this Planeswalker enters with too few loyalty counters. She does a lot of cool stuff. We don't need to go over it. But Tamayo apparently got captured by the Phyrexians, who are up to some nefarious deeds. If you remember Vorinclex, if we get into some lore here, if you remember, Vorinclex was on another plane called Kaldheim trying to steal Tyrite, which is like kind of a god-like substance, you know? Gives people immortality. It's what they made the elixir of life out of, the Cosmos elixir out of. What are those pesky Phyrexians up to? Very interesting. Here is Kaito Shinzuki. kind of the poster child of this one. At the beginning of your end step, if Shuki enters the battlefield this turn, phases out. He phases out. Draw a card, then discard a card unless you attack. Create a blue 1/1 ninja token with creature can't be blocked. You get an emblem whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player. Search your library for a black creature, put it on the battlefield, then shuffle. So this is your ninja planeswalker right here. I don't think anybody is hearing anything. Dr. Don, I think you're having some issues. What's up, Squealer? Kotose the Silent Spider. Well, first we got to talk about this. This is what I talked about, guys. Do you remember it? Did anybody even watch? I'm gonna put the link into the 5 things I wanted from Kamigawa. True triple color support. Here we have it. These are some of the first triple color cards we've had in a while. Ishi, 2 heavens. Ishin, 2 heavens as 1. Mardu. Yes, Mardu Samurais, absolutely. Human Samurai. If a creature attacking causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers a second time. So listen, this will also affect your opponents, but it's only your abilities that trigger. Listen to what I'm telling you here, guys. This guy in a Dungeons deck with knights that trigger and things like that when they attack, and clerics that trigger when they attack. I'm talking about Ishin on 2 heavens as 1. Oh yeah, Mardu just got a power jump with a true Mardu card. We also have a true Jeskai card here. A Kirin Spirit, legendary creature, 4/4. Spells you control cast 1 less for each target, for each creature. For each target, spells your opponent cast cost 1 for each one. So a little bit of Jeskai control there. A Jungo Uprising, a Ganjo Uprising. I'm so bad at that. Not a very good card. I don't think it's that great. They get a bunch of samurais. You get a bunch of samurais. Ryu, Storm's Edge. Yes. I like this guy. 3/3 first strike, sweet lightning katana. Whenever a samurai warrior you control attacks alone, untap it. If it's the first combat phase of this turn, there is an additional combat phase after this one. Yes. We want an additional combat phase if this is the first combat phase. Yes, we do. So a warrior samurai goes first and attacks, then you get another combat, and then everybody can attack. How about that for one of them? Really cool stuff for samurais there. There's Satoru Omizawa, Human Ninja. Whenever you activate a ninjutsu, look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of them in your hand, and the rest in your bottom in any order. Kind of has that Demir what's not the investigate, the spying one. What do they used to call it? That spying thing that the whatchamacallit used to do. Look at the top card and put the one in your graveyard. Kind of like that. Each creature card in your hand has ninjutsu. 1 black, 1 blue, and 2. Yes, he will surveil that. Yeah, kind of a surveil mechanic here. Or just a scrying mechanic. Each creature card in your hand has ninjutsu. Very nice. Asari Captain. Human Samurai, and Haste. If whenever Samurai Warrior you control attacks alone, it gets +1 at the end of turn for each Samurai Warrior you control. Here is the Biker Mice from Mars. Here they go. Shiba, Okabe Gang Leader. Look at his sweet Akira Cyber Cycle. Yes, he is a rat pilot. At the beginning of your combat on your turn, return target vehicle card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste. Return it to your hand the next step. Absolute brutal Orzhov vehicles. You might actually get me to play some vehicles with that one. Excuse enthusiast Mechonaut. Artifacts are cheaper. People like that who like artifacts. Prodigals prototype. Here's a nice vehicle. Here's like a mech vehicle. Naomi, Pillar of Order. We get Samurai, White Samurais with Vigilance. I like that for combining it with Orzhov Samurais and stuff like that. Gloom Shrieker, not bad. Cat Beast and Golgari. Oni Cult Anvil, really cool thing. It creates artifacts, and then you can sacrifice artifacts and deal damage. And then they did it, man. The Mad Lads did it. The Mad Lads did it. They made freaking Master Splinter. They did it. You were like, they're not going to do it. These guys are not going to do it, man. They're not going to do it. They freaking did Master Splinter. That's how dedicated they are to the cause, man. Silver Fur Master. 1 blue, 1 black, 2/2 Rat Ninja. It is a Rat Ninja Master. Oh, but it's not technically Master Splinter. Oh, man. Oh, man. This is a freaking Master Splinter, man. Can we get 4 different types of turtles? Green turtles, and then combine this and make a Soul Tide Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles deck? I don't know, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try to combine a bunch of turtles and then make them ninjas using Satoru Umezawa and Silver for a Master. Other ninja and rogue creatures you control get +1/+1. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. We will try to do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, man. We will do it. So here's just the alternate arts for them. A lot of cool anime art, obviously, if we're doing Japanese inspired. Mono green is going to be really interesting. We're going to go over, oh, here's the Phyrexian type of Tamayo completed Sage. We have some really cool stuff. Oh, here's the Kami War. Exile target non-land permanent. Return 2 other target non-land permanents that don't sit on her hand. Then opponent discards a card. And then it comes back as Okajachi Made Manifest. Is all colors. Flying Trample. It attacks, defends, choose non-life card in your graveyard. It's a 6/6. Big Dragons. Will it be the mate of... Will it be the mate of Tiamat? Probably. We're probably going to see a combination of Okajachi and Tiamat combined here. Absolutely. Oh, and I forgot Spirit Sister's Call. Very nice enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, choose a target permanent in your graveyard. You may sacrifice a permanent that shares a card type. If you do, return to the chosen from your graveyard to the battlefield. And it gains, if this permanent would leave, exile it, putting. So basically, if you have a big zombie in your graveyard and you have a little zombie on the board, if it dies, you can switch them out, basically, is what that does. Really interesting. Good tribal support for that one. Good tribal support. So, so we covered white, we covered black, and we covered multicolor. I think I'm going to split this video into a 2-parter. I'm going through these pretty fast. I want to do them April O'Neil kind of guy. Yeah, I mean, cartoon redheads, man, is how I got where I am today. So, so we're going to color blue, red, and green, and some artifacts and colorless in the next video. I do want to split it up because it is going long. So we're going to do a part 2 of this video. Stay tuned for that one. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button so you don't miss it. Let's see here. Do we have enough time for colorless? Let's take a look. And we'll do a few colorless here, man. Bronze clubs, interesting. I'm looking for the mechas, man. Artifact creatures. There it is, the Surge Hacker Mech, and then the Reckoner Bankbuster. These are the vehicles. We actually have mechs in this. Oh, and I got to talk about Mirror Box. And here's a Mecha Titan Core. So we're going to get to that too. When Surge Hacker Mech enters the battlefield, it deals damage equal to twice the number of vehicles you control to target creature or planeswalker. 4 for 5 and accrue 4. Very good. Reckoner Bankbuster. Reckoner Bankbuster enters the battlefield with 3 charge counters on it. 2, remove a charge counter from Reckoner Bankbuster. Draw a card, then there are no charge counters in Reckoner Buster. Create a treasure token and a 1/1 colorless pilot token. This creature crews vehicles as though its power were 2 or greater. Yes, the mechas are going to be great. Now, the number 1 card that's probably going to get banned is Mirror Box. If there's one card that's going to be the Salt, that's going to be the Salt Factory. It's going to be Mirror Box. The legendary rules doesn't apply to it. I mean, you can have multiple versions of the same legend out on the board. Each legend you control gets +1/+1. Each token creature you control gets +1/+1 for each other creature you control with the same name. Mirror Box looks like it's gonna be broken, man. I don't know about that. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Mirror Box looks broken, man. To me, that's gonna be a lot of salt. Mecha Titan Core. Yes, we are putting together Exodia, the Forbidden One. Exile Mecha Titan Core and 4 other artifact creatures you control. Create a Mecha Titan legendary 10/10 construct artifact creature with flying, vigilance, trample, lifelink, and haste. That's all colors. When that token leaves the battlefield, return all cards exiled to Mecha Titan Core, except Mecha Titan Core, to the battlefield tapped under their owner's control. So if you have 4 other vehicles, he goes full Voltron, man. Full Voltron. You exile for him, the core, with his Voltron head, and you exile 4 other artifacts, or vehicles you can, 4 other artifact creatures and or vehicles you control. He goes arms, legs, boom. He's a 10/10 flying, vigilance, trample, haste, and lifelink. That's all colors. Total Voltron Exodia type stuff here, man. Really, really cool. Walking Skyscraper. Very, very cool. 8/8. 1 less for each modified creature you control. Guide bots, runaway. There's the Hoverbikes. Yeah, we got our biker bars from Mars. Flash and flying. When high speed hoverbike enters the battlefield, tap 1 target creature. Cool. Only crew 1. We had some cool stuff, man. We had some cool stuff. Mecha Titan, all that cool stuff. We're gonna have to see if we want more. We're gonna have to see if we want more vehicles. I kind of want more vehicles, man. If we're talking about mechs and Akira jet bikes and samurai swords and stuff like that, yeah, man, I'm down for the ride, bro. I'm down for the ride. So, hey, we had time for colorless. We're gonna have to do blue, red, and green for the next one. So check that one out. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Absolutely amazing stuff here. We're gonna have vehicle decks, ninja decks, samurai decks, all kind of stuff, enchantments. We're really going to be doing some big stuff here, man. We're going to be really doing some real cool stuff. And, of course, the biker mice from Mars. Awesome. Love it. We'll do the lands on the next one, too. We'll do the new lands on the next one. So next video, we will do blue, red, green, and lands. And we will check it out. We will also surprise you. We will probably do one more review of any ones that we missed once we get the full preview coming out. So make sure to check that out. Make sure you like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed looking at some of this stuff with me. I hope that you appreciated it. I've been Jay Villain, and you guys have been great. Looks like we're gonna have a lot of fun with this set. Please leave a comment telling me what you think. Let me know. Until next time, bye bye.